Since the founding of the United States on July 4, 1776, the nation has witnessed a long lineage of presidential elections, 60 in total, yielding 45 presidents, all of whom have been men. This stark reality prompts a pressing question: is America truly prepared for a female president? With the historical context revealing that not a single woman has successfully navigated the complexities of presidential candidacy, the prospects for female leadership continue to hang in the balance. The journey of women in U.S. presidential politics began over a century ago, with 59 women having officially declared candidacies since 1872. Notably, Victoria Woodhull emerged as the first female candidate, albeit ineligible due to her age of 34. A requirement mandates candidates to be at least 35 years old, as outlined in Article 2 of the Constitution. Many of these candidates struggled to gain traction, often limited to being write-in options, a practice that is heavily restricted across various states. Such systemic barriers have significantly hindered women's ability to secure the necessary 270 electoral votes for victory. The U.S. political landscape is predominantly shaped by a two-party system, with the Republican and Democratic parties dominating the arena. Since 1868, every president has been a member of one of these two parties. Among the 59 female candidates, only Hillary Clinton in 2016 and Kamala Harris in 2024 emerged from the ranks of the Democratic Party as credible contenders. Clinton's 2016 campaign was historic. She secured the popular vote with 65.8 million votes compared to Donald Trump's 62.9 million. However, the Electoral College system, designed to amplify the voices of smaller states, ultimately thwarted her bid for the presidency. Similarly, Harris faced a formidable opponent in Trump during the 2024 election, a contest marked by significant political dynamics. Harris's candidacy was particularly significant, as she asserted that America was absolutely ready for a female president. Yet political figures like Tammy Baldwin suggested that Harris's loss stemmed more from the inherent disadvantages of representing the incumbent party during a time of change rather than solely her gender. Others, including political analyst Julian Epstein, argue that campaign missteps such as her choice of a running mate compounded her challenges. This raises the question of whether the political climate is truly conducive for female candidates, irrespective of their abilities. The Democratic Party's approach to candidacy has often led to speculation about the types of candidates it would support in future elections. As the party prepares for the 2028 presidential race, the likelihood of nominating a woman remains uncertain. Some analysts predict a preference for male candidates, particularly in a landscape where the party seeks to rebound from the electoral losses of 2024. The DNC's historical preferences for centrist candidates rather than progressive figures like Bernie Sanders further complicate the pathway for potential female nominees. While the cultural fabric of the U.S. appears increasingly supportive of female leadership, evidenced by polls showing a majority of Americans comfortable with a female president, systemic barriers and entrenched political dynamics persist. Research from the Northeastern University School of Journalism highlights that media portrayals of female candidates often lean towards negativity, further complicating their public reception. The Republican Party, too, has yet to nominate a female candidate, as seen in both the 2016 and 2024 elections, where women struggled to gain significant traction against their male counterparts. As America navigates the evolving political landscape, the call for reform within political institutions and the media grows louder. The need for systemic changes that elevate women's representation in executive roles has never been more critical. The cultural readiness for a female president is evident, yet historical institutions and the current political climate continue to create a barrier to achieving such a milestone. As the nation looks ahead, the question remains: will the next elections finally break the long-standing pattern, or will the struggle for female representation in the presidency continue? The future of U.S. leadership remains uncertain, but the conversation surrounding female candidates has undeniably shifted, setting the stage for potential breakthroughs in the years to come. In a rapidly changing political landscape, the generational divide in American politics is becoming increasingly apparent, particularly as members of Generation Z voice their discontent with the current administration.
Sarah Pequeño,
a 27-year-old columnist for USA Today, articulates the concerns of her peers regarding President Donald Trump's presidency and his administration's aggressive policies against marginalized communities. Her reflections highlight a palpable anxiety among young voters, many of whom feel disillusioned and threatened by the direction in which the country is headed. Pequeño recalls her initial shock at Trump's election in 2016, an event that underscored the stark political divides in her home state of North Carolina. "I was a liberal in a red state," she notes, acknowledging the overwhelming support for Trump within her county. As she reflects on the subsequent years, she recognizes the emotional toll of witnessing the erosion of rights for various communities under Trump's leadership.
From anti-LGBTQ+ policies to aggressive immigration enforcement, the administration's actions have left many young Americans feeling vulnerable and fearful for their future. Despite this bleak outlook,
Pequeño emphasizes the importance of resilience and activism among her generation. With a sizable portion of Gen Z identifying as LGBTQ+ or coming from immigrant backgrounds, she argues that their interests directly conflict with Trump's agenda. In the 2024 election, voters under 30 overwhelmingly supported Democratic nominee Kamala Harris, a trend that signals a rejection of Trump's ideologies.
"We don't want him. We've never wanted him," she asserts, addressing the disconnect between the Republican Party and younger voters.
Pequeño acknowledges that Gen Z is not monolithic and that there exists a segment of her generation that aligns with MAGA sentiments. However, she challenges this group to reconsider their priorities. "Does your life improve because someone else is losing their rights?" she asks,
highlighting the futility of gaining at the expense of others.
The ongoing struggles, high prices for essentials and stagnant wages, are issues that transcend political affiliations and require collective action.
As the political landscape evolves, Pequeño urges her generation to remain engaged and proactive.
"Now is not the time to give up fighting for the world we want," she insists, encouraging young voters to seek out their communities, demand accountability from their representatives, and participate in protests. This call to action resonates with a broader movement among young Americans who are increasingly frustrated with the status quo and eager to effect change. In parallel, the Republican Party faces its own challenges as Trump distances himself from potential successors within the party.
During a recent interview, Trump declined to endorse Vice President J.D. Vance as his heir apparent,
stating it was too early for such assertions. This remark has sparked speculation about the future of the GOP and its leadership as they prepare for the 2028 elections. With Vance currently viewed as a front-runner for the nomination, Trump's reluctance to firmly support him may indicate a desire to maintain control over the party's direction. As the political drama unfolds, the implications for both parties are significant. The GOP must navigate the complexities of its base, which includes both staunch Trump supporters and those who seek a more traditional conservative approach. Meanwhile, the Democratic Party must capitalize on the enthusiasm and activism of Gen Z, emphasizing issues relevant to this demographic while also addressing the divisions within its ranks.
Ultimately, the political climate in the United States is shifting. The perspectives of younger generations are increasingly shaping the discourse, and their involvement in the electoral process will be crucial in determining the future direction of the country. As Pequeño poignantly concludes, "Do not let them take your joy. Do not let them take your agency."
This sentiment encapsulates the urgency for engagement and the hope that despite the challenges ahead, a more inclusive and equitable political landscape is within reach. In a significant development within the U.S. government, the Senate has taken a crucial step towards confirming Kash Patel as the new director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation (FBI).
Following a vote by the Senate Judiciary Committee on February 11, 2025, Patel's nomination is now poised to move to the full Senate for consideration.
This decision marks an important chapter in the ongoing evolution of the FBI's leadership during a time of heightened scrutiny and partisanship in Washington.
Kash Patel,
who previously served in various capacities within the Trump administration, including as Deputy National Security Advisor, has garnered both support and criticism from lawmakers. Proponents of his nomination argue that Patel's extensive experience in national security and intelligence makes him a suitable candidate to lead the FBI, particularly as it faces challenges related to domestic terrorism and cybersecurity. Kash Patel brings a fresh perspective that the FBI needs to navigate the complexities of modern law enforcement, said a member of the Judiciary Committee, highlighting the increasing demands placed on the agency.
However, Patel's nomination is not without controversy.
Critics point to his past involvement in efforts to undermine the integrity of the FBI during the Trump administration, including his role in the release of a controversial memo regarding the Russia investigation. This history has raised concerns among some senators about his ability to restore public trust in the Bureau. It is essential that the next FBI director embodies impartiality and integrity, qualities that must not be compromised, remarked a dissenting senator during the committee hearings. The committee's vote comes at a time when the FBI is under pressure to address various pressing issues, including rising violent crime rates and the increasing sophistication of cyber threats.
With Patel's confirmation, supporters hope he will prioritize these challenges and enhance the FBI's operational capabilities.
The potential for Patel to implement significant reforms within the agency is seen as a critical factor in his nomination.
Meanwhile, the Senate is also engaged in discussions surrounding other key appointments within President Trump's cabinet, underscoring the administration's focus on filling critical positions in a timely manner.
Alongside Patel, Tulsi Gabbard is set to clear a Senate hurdle as she moves toward confirmation as the top U.S. spy, further demonstrating the administration's push to solidify its national security team. As the full Senate prepares for the upcoming vote on Patel's nomination, the implications of his leadership could resonate well beyond the immediate challenges facing the FBI. His confirmation could signal a shift in the agency's approach to law enforcement, particularly in areas of surveillance and civil liberties, which have been contentious topics in recent years. The outcome of this nomination will not only shape the future of the FBI but also influence the broader narrative surrounding law enforcement in the United States.
With the Senate's decision on Patel expected soon, all eyes will be on the unfolding developments.
If confirmed, his leadership will be scrutinized closely as the FBI navigates a complex landscape marked by both national security threats and calls for greater accountability. The coming months will likely reveal whether Patel can bridge the divide within the Bureau and restore confidence among the American public. As the political landscape in the United States continues to evolve, attention is turning to the strategic maneuvers of key congressional districts as parties prepare for the 2026 midterm elections. In particular, national Democrats are setting their sights on two Iowa congressional districts that analysts have identified as highly competitive, Iowa's 1st and 3rd districts. This renewed focus comes in the wake of the House Majority PAC's announcement of a significant investment, pledging $50 million into its Win Them Back fund, which aims to recapture support among a diverse coalition of working-class voters. The Cook Political Report has also weighed in categorizing both districts as competitive in early assessments of the upcoming electoral cycle. In the 1st District, incumbent Republican Representative Mariannette Miller Meeks faces a tight race described as a toss-up by analysts. This classification reflects her narrow victory in the previous election, where she edged out her Democratic challenger by a mere 800 votes in a district that Donald Trump won by 9 percentage points. Aaron Covey, U.S. House editor for the Cook Political Report, noted it is strange that you would start a district that Trump won by almost 9 points in a toss-up category. But because of the fact that she had the closest race of any House Republican in Congress. Clearly, she is vulnerable going into a midterm cycle where we would expect that the environment would be better for Democrats. On the other hand, the 3rd district represented by Zach Nunn is currently rated as leaning Republican. Analysts have observed a shift in perception regarding this district, which was previously considered a swing area. Nunn won his 2024 race by about 4 percentage points, mirroring Trump's performance in the district. Covey cautioned that while Nunn may be the slight favorite now, the dynamics of the race could change as the November elections draw closer and depending on the candidates that Democrats choose to challenge him. The House Majority PAC strategy revolves around engaging working-class voters, a demographic that has played a crucial role in previous elections. We will continue to invest in research throughout the cycle and as our programming ramps up. We will leverage our research to launch comprehensive campaigns that will help us win back these target voters, read a memo from the organization. This approach aims to counteract the narrative presented by Republican strategists who assert that Democrats lack a coherent message and are struggling to connect with Iowa voters. As the 2026 midterms approach, both parties will undoubtedly intensify their efforts in these districts. National Republican Congressional Committee spokesperson Mike Marinella emphasized the advantage that House Republicans hold. Representatives Zach Nunn and Marionette Miller Meeks have a proven track record of delivering results for their Iowans. Distraught Iowa Democrats don't have any message and voters aren't buying their failed agenda. The political climate remains fluid, and while current assessments point to competitiveness in these races, Covey reminds observers that it is still early in the election cycle. It's very early in the cycle. And we are not making any big predictions about the environment at this point, she stated. As the parties prepare for what promises to be a contentious election season, both the Democratic and Republican strategies will likely evolve, influenced by shifting voter sentiments and the candidates who emerge to represent these critical districts. In conclusion, the emerging narrative surrounding Iowa's congressional races highlights the intricate dance of American politics as both parties gear up for the midterms. With significant financial backing and a focus on working-class voters, Democrats aim to challenge Republican incumbents in districts that may no longer be safe. As the 2026 elections draw nearer, all eyes will be on Iowa to see how these dynamics play out, potentially setting the stage for broader national implications. In a significant legal milestone. The College of Law at Syracuse University is set to host the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit for in-person oral arguments. Scheduled for February 20, 2025, this event marks a rare opportunity for students, faculty, and the public to engage directly with the appellate judicial process. The court, which is known for its influential rulings on federal law, will hear cases involving matters critical to the legal landscape of the region and beyond. Hosting the Second Circuit is an exceptional opportunity for our law students and the community, said College of Law Dean Craig M. Boise. It provides a unique platform for observing the judiciary in action and understanding the complexities of legal arguments in a real-world setting. The event is expected to draw a large audience, with students particularly eager to witness firsthand the intricacies of appellate litigation. In another noteworthy achievement, 2 students from the S.I. Newhouse School of Public Communications at Syracuse University won the prestigious Future Lions Grand Prix Award at the Cannes Lions International Festival of Creativity. Their project, which focused on creating an awareness campaign for Spotify utilizing sign language, was recognized for its innovative approach and social impact. This accolade places them among the elite in creative advertising, showcasing Syracuse University's commitment to fostering talent and creativity. The recognition comes at a time when the advertising industry increasingly emphasizes inclusivity and representation in its campaigns. Winning the Grand Prix is not just a personal achievement, it reflects the power of creative ideas to influence and inspire change, said one of the winning students. Their project highlights the importance of accessibility in media and the role of advertising in promoting social causes. As these students celebrate their success, the potential ramifications of their work resonate deeply in a society that grapples with issues of representation. Their victory at Cannes not only elevates their professional prospects but also underscores the growing recognition of diverse voices in advertising. In the broader political landscape, the Supreme Court is poised to face significant challenges in the coming years, particularly as Donald Trump seeks to reshape its composition further. If successful, Trump could become the first president since Franklin D. Roosevelt to appoint a majority of justices, potentially entrenching a conservative majority that could influence American law for generations. Legal experts are concerned that this shift could lead to rulings that undermine civil rights and liberties, as the court has already demonstrated a willingness to support controversial policies. The implications of this judicial transformation are profound, especially for vulnerable communities that rely on the courts as a safeguard against discrimination and injustice. As the nation watches these developments unfold, the intersection of law, politics, and social responsibility remains a focal point of public discourse. The upcoming oral arguments at Syracuse University and the achievements of its students highlight the critical role of education in nurturing the next generation of legal and creative thinkers. Looking ahead, the combination of a changing judiciary and the influence of young innovators in fields like advertising may pave the way for a more inclusive and equitable future. As these narratives evolve, it will be crucial for citizens, educators, and policymakers to engage actively in shaping the dialogue around justice, representation, and the power of creativity in driving social change.